Hello YouTube and welcome. Thank you for joining me for another video. Today I've got some news for you and I'll get right into it. It's a pretty interesting topic. I've been watching this kind of unfold since the beginning of the year and now it's come to a boiling point. And what's going on is that Roku, the streaming network, streaming platform, whatever you want to call it, and Google are at war. And they're at war, and the result is going to end up, if they don't come to some type of agreement by December the 9th of 2021, Roku's going to lose all access to YouTube. That's going to be YouTube TV, and that's also going to be YouTube, the application. As of right now, YouTube TV cannot be downloaded from the App Store. Now, if you've already got it, if you're an existing customer, it's not going to disappear. But if you went to your App Store in Roku right now, YouTube TV is not available. Now, in a Roku update that was dated October the 21st, roughly about maybe 10 days ago, Roku goes into detail on what's going on, and it's coming to the boiling point now where, the harsh words are being used. Monopoly, retaliation. It's gotten past the point of, let's just talk about it, to you've got one side, and I'm talking about Roku on this end, and you've got one side who is, dropped the filter, and they're making a statement to the customers, letting everyone know what's going on. Now, this is updated 4 p.m. on October the 21st of 2021. I'm not going to read this whole thing to you. I'm going to go through and highlight some points, and I'll give you guys the link in the description. But the majority of this video, I'll be talking about what this is going to mean for you going forward if you have a Roku television. Okay, now in the blog post from Roku, after they go into a brief detail of what's going on, they say that unless we reach an agreement on renewal terms prior to the expiration of our current agreement, we will not be able to offer you YouTube on the Roku platform for new users. That's a pretty big deal. So you could potentially, after December the 9th of 2021, not have YouTube on your Roku. That's going to be your Roku stick. That's going to be your Roku television. That's going to be anything that's a dedicated Roku device. And without YouTube, which gets billions of users a day, that particular platform, Roku, I don't see them as surviving. So what this is going to mean is that Roku's going to either have to fold or comply, is a better word, with what Google is asking, or Roku is going to have to do something that they have declined to do since they've been around, is to give access to a web browser. Now, with the web browser, problems fixed. Users could just go to the web browser, go to YouTube as they wished, and everything's done. Roku does not want to implement a web browser because they want to have a locked down system. When I say locked down, that's going to be in comparison to what Fire Stick does. Fire Stick, they don't really care. You're going to do whatever you want to do on Fire Stick. That's your problem. That's your deal. They would hope that you don't do anything. But if you do, hey, that's on you. But with Roku, it's kind of like the Apple compared to the Android. You're going to use their apps, and you're going to use their apps only, and you can't go outside of there. That's what's going on with Roku. Now, the whole agreement, or this agreement, I should say, I'll skim down here, and I'll just read you a little of this and show you how nasty this is getting. Let's see. While not surprising, this kind of blatant retaliation and monopoly conduct is likely why the U.S. Department of Justice and 30 state attorneys generals are investigating Google for violating fair competition laws. That statement in the middle of a blog, that's pretty much, we're really fighting now. But I'll go down and tell you what Google is asking and what Roku is, not willing to comply with. And it says on the second to last paragraph, there are two primary concerns we are working to address. First, Google continues to interfere with Roku's independent search results, requiring that we preference YouTube over other content providers. And that's pretty much how it works. Google is going to want, when someone searches, to have the Google or YouTube results show up first in that search so that the customer can in turn, hey, I see this first, I'm going to go and see what YouTube or Google or YouTube TV is offering so I can watch that. Roku doesn't want that to happen. Roku would rather that you go to one of the other companies that are offering that show or that series or that movie, or go to Roku. And Google is like, no, we're going to be first, and we're going to be the one that's going to show up first in the search results. I'll continue reading. This is a concern shared by many companies who believe that consumers deserve neutral and relevant results at their search queries. Secondly, Google discriminates against Roku by demanding search, voice, and data features they do not insist on from other streaming platforms. Now, what that means is, for instance, like on your Fire Stick or like on your Google TV, which is another device that plugs into the back of your TV that you can access streaming services with. Both of those have a button that you can hit and voice search. Roku does not have that feature. Now, this isn't a big deal. They could issue or market a replacement, remote that would be able to have search by voice features. And I don't think they're making a true statement by saying that, every other company is not insisted to have this. That's not true. Every other company that has a streaming box already has this. So Roku does not want that search by voice feature, because that search by voice feature, where you would say, hey Roku, or hello Roku, or whatever their prompt would be, would in turn equal up in a YouTube search or a Google search, just like it does on your Google TV and just like it does on your Fire Stick. Now, Roku, I'm not gonna lie to you, Roku's gonna lose in this. I'm not saying that Roku on December the 9th is gonna lose all access to YouTube. When I say Roku's gonna lose, I mean Roku is gonna lose in the sense of they're gonna have to do this. They're gonna have to implement this voice by search feature, which, Google may give them time to do. But first and foremost, they're gonna have to implement that search option to where if you've got your Roku remote in your hand and you wanted to watch, I don't know, any movie or any television show, and you want to key in your buttons to search for that show, the first results that you're going to get back are going to be how to watch it with Google, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on YouTube TV, or whether it's, launching straight into another app that's supported by Google. So I don't think this is going to end well for Roku. Let me know in the descriptions what you guys, in the comments, what you guys think. Stay tuned, and I'll be making an update video because December the 9th is coming around sooner than you think. And I've got Roku TVs, and I know that it's going to be pretty devastating that YouTube could potentially not be there anymore on that Roku TV. And as of right now, like I stated, YouTube TV, the streaming television service that YouTube has where you can watch local TV, cable television through YouTube, that YouTube TV app is not able to download onto Roku devices anymore. So if you have YouTube TV, and you've probably already noticed it, on your Roku you have to go to YouTube and then go to YouTube TV. There's no longer a second app for YouTube TV that would just launch for you when you hit it. But that's in another video. We'll talk about that. This has been my update on this disturbing battle between YouTube and Roku. Hit that like button, hit that comment. Let me know what you guys think. What are your thoughts on this? Make sure you subscribe and share the videos. And I'll see you real soon in the next one.